Yeah.
What drives a man to tunnel?
That is the question. It's women.
Well, I was going to say, I think that's kind of something that is like built into you inherently, like from the day you're born. You got to get back to the tunnel.
Yeah.
You have to return with a V to tunnel.
Exactly.
We should let's preface. Let's get into the tunnel real quick because we're live now. But I want to because I got some shit to say about the tunnel. Okay, that resonated with me personally.
Could a FIM host read the post to the audience?
Yeah.
I think that would make it work. Would anyone like to volunteer?
I can read it.
Yeah.
All right, Ashley.
Hold on, let me pull it up. You want me to read the whole thing? All right, here we go.
I don't know. We shouldn't read. Just summarize it.
Yeah, just
you want me to summarize it? So I know this is a weird question, but my boyfriend likes to spend a lot of his free time digging a tunnel on some property that he inherited. I haven't seen the full extent of it, but last I saw it was remarkably deep under the surface. He spent roughly a year on it, and it's evident. So it's deep, it's wide, it's well put together. So it seems like he is an expert at tunnel.
Me.
Yeah, very
She
deep.
seems proud of him. She seems proud of him, which I respect.
I've seen a lot of judgment so far, at least.
Yeah.
Right. And here's what gets me about it. She's like, my biggest concern is his safety. I'm really worried that he's going to dig too deep and it'll collapse on him or something. He seems like he knows what he's doing, though. Mm-hmm. First of all,
it's a nice tunnel. It's a really nice,
confident tunnel.
Well, I
Second of
appreciate
all,
the concern, but I do think we have to have concern for his mental health. Here is what the part.
Yeah, that's like I think that's the first concern is his physical health. I think like there's something else going on there that like might not be totally physical.
I think it's cool. Maybe that's just his hobby. He gets a nice workout and it doesn't seem that bad to me. Also,
go ahead.
I just think it would be cool. Like, she's concerned about him dying in the tunnel, right? But I just think it would be a great situation if I could just be like, oh, my husband, he died in the mines. Like, who gets to say that anymore?
Yes. You get to say it
Trad
again,
husband. There we go.
I just personally think that if you're not ready to, take this kind of stuff in stride and handle it and just sort of process it and accept it, you shouldn't be dating dwarves.
Well, yes. I mean, honestly,
be
you're
doing
not ready for a relationship at all if you can't, in my opinion.
Yeah, right now the rumors are like,
he's always really happy when he comes back from digging, which is why I haven't seriously tried to stop him before. Just let him be happy.
Yeah.
So she is dating a folklore dwarf. Like
she's basically Yoko Ono of the mines. Here is what's happening. The mines were broken up by.
I felt a deep connection. Like I understand this man's craving to want to dig a tunnel and just spend all his time digging a tunnel. Absolutely. I get it. I don't think I would personally do that exact activity, but I could see myself going completely insane and just being like, I make bowls in my wood shop. That's what I do. That's what I like doing, and I just do that every day.
Have these things like podcasts, bands.
Yeah. Like I could start a podcast or something like that.
I'm afraid he's going to kill himself just playing music every night and drinking blacked out.
I do think every man has it in him to just sort of snap and pick up a bizarre physical hobby. Like every man just has that laying dormant in his heart.
Oh, sure.
Where like he has one bad enough day at work.
Yeah.
And he now builds model trains forever.
Digging a pool in the backyard, Encino Man style.
That's the male consciousness is like equipped with that.
I feel like if you snapped and then picked up a pickaxe and the only thing you're swinging it at is like the ground and some rocks, it's a huge problem.
Yeah, the best possible outcome, I think.
What I don't get though is that like nowhere in the probably fake Reddit post that we're reading, because I just believe every Reddit post is fake.
Yeah.
Is that like she? Like, why is she not? She never mentions like, did you discuss with him what the goal of the hole is? Like that should be like if he's just like, I like digging a hole. That's like okay, well he's mentally in a place where that's just good enough. Like there's no end goal. He's just digging a hole. He's gonna die in that hole.
Yeah. I like to think he refuses to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, what goes down in that hole is between me and the hole. If you want to come down there and see for yourself, that's one thing, but I'm not talking about it above the surface.
Yeah, you want to know what's in the hole, you come into the fucking hole.
That makes it so much worse, though. It's like, imagine he's gone for like 2 or 3 days and then finally shows back up and he's just like, yeah, something happened in the tunnels. But it's fine now.
And he never goes back. He never goes back suddenly and never talks about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Can't go back. Never go back.
That would be more alarming than like him just continuing to dig the hole.
Oh my God! I just realized what's actually happening, which is that there's another girl that's tunneling underneath and meeting him, and they're fucking under there.
I knew it.
In the smallest, narrowest part of the tunnel.
Exactly.
Just big enough for 2 bodies to become one.
The same dwarf girlfriend.
Well, I guess we should take a moment to introduce our guest of the evening. Chris, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Chris.
An exciting time to finally be on an actual podcast, I guess.
I think your podcast is it's a real podcast.
I love your real podcast that comes out every 6 months or so.
Yeah, I mean, you might get another one out there by the end of this decade, but
this is the healthy way to have a podcast. It's not like a tunnel, like us every week. We're digging the podcast.
Yeah, when something comes up,
We should also acknowledge that it was Justine's birthday last week.
Yes, it was.
We had a lost episode, so we didn't get to say anything about it on her birthday episode. But yeah, happy birthday, Justine.
Thank you very much. And it was my birthday gift that I demanded you guys let my boyfriend be on the episode.
I really
don't forget why you're here, buddy.
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's the only reason we're letting you on.
Every host gets to have whoever they want guests on the show on their birthday. That's the rule. So I'm going to have Alex Jones on my birthday next year.
Great. And I chose Chris because I'm going to be working really hard for the next hour to find an organic way for him to fit in his British guy voice that he does that makes me laugh a lot.
You can do it. I know you can do it.
We're going to be shoehorning it in. Yeah. Oh, Ashley's got it. Thank you.
I might have a way for you to shoehorn it in, just so you know. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect.
So I am 28, and nothing much has changed. I ate some good food, and my back hurts still. So that's what being 28 is like.
Yeah,
Wait until you're 30.
Yeah, my back will continue to hurt.
Yeah, better from there actually.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to say anything at this point because
Yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy.
To be fair, I think I've done enough fentanyl that my 28 is equivalent to 42 in a normal person.
Have you seen any butt doctors yet, though?
No, just the pussy doctor. I think we kind of share that. Mm-hmm. It's one doctor for us.
Sure.
Actually, don't look at me like that. I'm just making shit up.
I was like, the gynecologist has never looked in my asshole.
Well,
you might want to.
You gotta get a new one.
I have a really enterprising. It's a luxury gynecologist.
Yeah,
gynecologist.
If she needed it,
you slip him a 20, and then he'll check any hole you want.
Yeah.
I even go to one.
I'm just saying, just enjoy your 20s and the early 30s, because once you see the butt doctors, that's when you really know it's different. That's when that number really starts.
Well, the
to
thing
feel
is,
something else.
It's not like I have to get my prostate checked, so that's not really a.
You don't have to get your prostate checked. You can go to a butt doctor for many reasons.
Again, a gynecologist will do that for the right price.
Yeah, that's also true.
Apparently,
all kinds of stuff up there.
But what do I feel like for me? It's once I need to start. Well, no, I guess I should already have been getting breast exams. I guess I should have been doing that for a while.
Yeah, you've never had your boobs squished?
Just the once.
Okay.
I think you're supposed to do it regularly though, and I
don't know what age you're supposed to formally get that checked.
I don't know.
You don't, man?
Probably a good idea.
Matt, when was the last time
You're
you had
a
your
wife
breast
guy.
exam?
You should know these things.
Last time I went to the gyno, which was last month. And I'm going again this month.
Right.
Matt, how are your breasts? Are they
Supple.
okay?
Can you do a self-exam
Okay.
right now just to make
Yes,
sure that
could you?
Did you use your tongue? What does it taste like?
Could you get
Describe
really
your
close?
breasts.
Could you get really close to the camera for this non-video episode?
All right. Well, speaking of wife guys, I think this is a great time to bring up something from our last episode that actually made it to air was the the Wheel of Guys. Speaking of the Wheel of Guys, we had an idea to do a guide to being a reply guy, or the Succ guide to being a good reply guy. I think we really got to get into this. This is very important to our listenership. Would anybody
And
like
not
to lead
discuss
this
enough.
conversation? No, not at all.
Not at all.
Justine,
Well,
I think
Hold
that-
on there. I feel like the biggest thing with being a reply guy is you do have to understand that you hold up half the sky, so that you have to have a bit of a self-respect and a self-confidence there, that like you can't be like a cringing, hand-wringing weakling about it. You've got to know that like you're part of this economy and you matter.
Right. You've got
With that said, go ahead.
The economy of guys.
say you have to confidently be the second banana at all times.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's like being Robin to Batman,
There are no small parts, only small actors,
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
I like that. I think it's very important to make sure if you're going to put yourself out there in somebody's replies that you filter it, because if you put your own post out and it's bad, you get to answer for that. But if you put a reply on somebody and it's bad, you're just diluting the sauce that they created.
Absolutely, which is
Yeah.
It's like just pouring water into
scrolling through so many
marinara.
replies. If the first 5 replies on that are duds, that's game over for the rest of that.
you
thread.
gotta
absolutely.
Thank
you
killed
ruined
the-
my whole
right.
day. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
no
kind
coming
of like
back
to
from
think
that.
of it as like, and I haven't played the new Elden Ring game, but like in terms of boss battles in general, you can't get greedy with your hits. You have to get in,
No.
get
Ah,
out, dodge. Be very on your feet about it.
this
Absolutely.
is an excellent metaphor. Yes, I
A
totally
graceful
agree.
exit, I think, is one of the tougher things to learn as a reply guy.
Yeah,
Knowing
yeah.
when to shut the fuck up is a good
Yep.
one too.
Yeah.
Like when the guy, the reply guys that just like won't stop. They just keep
Yeah.
replying.
Uh-huh.
You got to get your 1 or 2 zingers in there, and then kind of move backwards or into the sub replies to whoever you're talking to.
Yeah, exit strategy is what separates. Good exit strategy is what separates the reply guy from the blocked.
The reply man.
the tarnished, I guess, would be.
Tarnished. There you go. That's better.
I do think it's
Oh my
important
God.
to point out that there's 2 different types of reply guys. There's sorry, I don't know why I'm holding this. Sorry, listeners, you can't see the prop
God, I
comment.
love physical comedy.
But on Facebook versus Twitter, I feel like the replies are very different, because replies
Oh, yeah.
almost get treated as their own post and can be quite a big deal. Whereas reply guys, I feel like on Facebook can get away with a lot more. But if you're a really good reply guy on Facebook, you tend to float to the top, right? Like if somebody's scrolling, they filter out a long comment thread and just show
Yeah.
the top comments.
They
So,
do.
really good reply guys on Facebook versus Twitter, very different, strengths and weaknesses, I would say.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, any like Facebook clout I have just comes from having like the second funniest reply on Matt's posts probably once or twice a week.
That's the only reason I met Justine, probably, if I had to guess.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
Yeah, I think a lot of us met Justine in the comments of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think I met every one of
Yeah,
y'all in the
that's
comments
absolutely how I
of
met
one of Matt's posts, probably.
Yeah, Chris specifically met me in Matt's post, which is crazy because he didn't know who Matt was at that
Yeah.
point. But
It was really bizarre. Found this guy out of there. Yeah, we actually have known each other a little bit longer than we've been letting on. Just
In the
Oh,
tunnels.
no.
trying to share.
Their tunnels met.
In the tunnels.
Our tunnels met and
Crossed
just,
paths.
he was replying to me, I was replying to him, and one thing led to another.
Yeah, we're brothers who
Although-
fuck in the tunnels.
It's on the DL. It's on the DL. Real down low.
I actually will bring up, that is a good point for reply guys, though. Like, Chris and I did meet in replies, and our relationship did blossom through replies.
So it can happen for you guys. It can happen for anyone who's there.
This is fascinating.
Yeah. So the thing is, anyone who says these mean, awful things like Twitter's not a dating site, stop DMing me, dude, this is weird. Don't listen to them. You've got to keep trying, and one day, your tunnels will cross in the night.
What were the DMs like with you guys? To who slid to whose? I gotta know.
I absolutely slid in the DMs first. Actually,
okay, all right. See, this.
I didn't even realize it. I thought
absolute Chad that Chris is.
She was trying to sell me something for like.
Hey, have you heard of Galaxy lamps?
Yeah, there it is.
But yeah, I think we were dogging on.
We were bullying a libertarian.
Nice.
What it was, huh?
Beautiful.
Okay, easy. Yeah,
it's the most romantic story I've ever heard in my life.
We kind of started off on easy mode, I guess, in terms of like, casual dunking.
Yeah.
But yeah, just it flourished from there.
Yeah, I really saw my opportunity, and the initial DM was so like weak too. It was just like, this guy sucks, right? Hey, what's up? I'm Justine.
So that was the perfect thing to say in that situation. So
right.
Yeah, I didn't get it at all.
But yeah, so the whole point is that being a reply guy, high risk but very high upside potential. If you play your cards right.
Very true.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset that like sliding into, there's nothing wrong with sliding into the DMs. Hold on. If as long as you're not a creep right away, as if you're just like hey, or you're like trying to like be funny or riff in the DMs, okay. But if the person doesn't reply, don't talk to them anymore, and don't continuously talk to them. It's okay if you want to D someone, you're shooting your shot. Okay, who the hell's, if the person doesn't reply, don't fucking bother them again.
That's where
I think there should be like, it can't be on your first reply riff though. You have to have like
you shouldn't
interacted publicly a few times first, and then be like, okay, I've gotten some positive interaction. Let's see if I can bring this forward.
I'm going to say a month or 20 interactions, whichever comes first.
Thank you, Willow. Yes. And that is our guide to sliding into the DMs for you all. This is very important for the internet. I hope that the whole internet will adopt these standards in the near future.
Please, for the love of God,
kind of be like the HTTP, the hypertext.
Adopt
protocol.
Any standards.
We're going to have a DM protocol from now on, and we'll go to Geneva. We're going to meet on this and cement it, and like it's like Geneva rights and stuff from now on. If you slide in my DMs and we haven't had 20 interactions that are mostly favorable,
and I'm counting too, so it better be 20.
I have a spreadsheet.
I've got a little whiteboard. I'm ticking them off.
That's all very fancy. I'm just making hash marks on my, toilet.
Oh my God.
Scratching it into the wall.
Fiercely etching away.
Well, speaking of scratching into the wall, I don't know a lot about this, and I hope that segue works, but it says here a lead sarcophagus was found under Notre Dame. I hope this is like when the church of whatever those Christian guys are called, that they found all that money in the walls. Is this how this worked? And
the Christians?
The Christians?
No, Joel Osteen's church, I believe.
Yeah, I couldn't think of his name, and I wasn't going to sit there and go, what's his name?
I call most Christian people Joel Osteen, I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, I didn't know what his church was called. Anyway, I'd like the idea of finding money in the wall being analogous to finding a lead sarcophagus under Notre Dame. Probably not analogous at all, but made for a funny transition.
It was a great transition,
about?
Phil.
I wish it was an asbestos covered sarcophagus, because they had that back in ancient Egypt as well, I'm pretty sure.
This actually isn't relevant to the article, but before it leaves my brain, I just wanted to say Jesus Christ Church of Latter-day Joel Osteens.
Jehovah's.
The Church of Jesus Christ
Joel
of
Austin
Latter-day
Witnesses.
Joel Austins.
Thank you. There we go.
There's Kim
but
when we meet her.
The actual archaeological find, I actually don't know much about this. Chris told me about it, and so I assumed that he did. And then right before we recorded, he was like, "Oh, I just read the headline." So
I should have like way before mentioned that I don't read any article ever.
Oh,
No, it's okay. This is what we
never
do.
ever do that.
right there with you.
You tell me that a lead sarcophagus is found some 65 feet below Notre Dame. I'm good, and I'm already running with my story, which is always going to be way better. So I guess really just to kind of summarize is they found the remnants of the first vampire pope. Notre Dame.
I don't know who the second one was, but the first one was a mystery until now.
Yep. We finally got a hold of them. But I mean, I think that's the gist of it. I don't think they've opened it yet.
They have not. No.
I was talking to Justine. I think that's weird. How much preparation is involved between like announcing that we are going to bust open this lead sarcophagus and then cracking that bitch open and let's see what's in there. I don't know
Probably at
so
least
long.
a few weeks to months. That's usually how long it takes them to like get
Well,
it
I
somewhere.
just got through
And
watching
they have
the-
to get it in like a sterile environment, and they got to figure out how they're going to open up without disturbing, anything or as little as possible.
There's got to be a
Well,
lot
I-
of plot development.
I mean, you're opening up a vampire's casket.
So fuck it, just open it up.
And evil is getting out no matter what. Your sterility at that point.
That's
I don't
right.
think matters.
Just open
Well, they
it
stuck a
up,
camera on it.
yell Dio.
Oh, did they?
They stuck a camera in it, and they saw there was like some hair and cloth and stuff. So kind of normal mummy, not mummy shit, but sarcophagus shit.
well, it could be a mummy. But
Is it a
we're not-
mummy?
Could be.
It'd
It'd be
What are we talking here, guys?
It would be
Really?
extremely unusual in the area for there to be a mummy. But
Well, maybe that's why it takes so long, because they don't know if it's a mummy situation, if it's a vampire situation, a werewolf situation.
Right.
So they have
might
to
be a werewolf.
Like they
It
don't know
takes
if they need to have
time.
garlic on hand.
exactly silver
Well,
bullets. Those take
You gotta
time
call
to
the
craft,
Vatican.
Let me just let y'all in on a little bit of the lore here, since I know y'all aren't Marvel fans, but I am a huge Marvel fan. I just got through watching Moon Knight, and I can tell you sarcophaguses, they contain your alternate egos, identities. That's where they lie inside of your mind. And
Sure.
all the Marvel fan listeners of the show will know this. And
Oh, I
We
thought
better
there
not
were
have
bodies
it.
in there.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
there's bodies, but they're living bodies, entities in your mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
Sorry.
did they get-
Sorry, I had to drop
What does
that.
that mean?
How did I get a guy in there?
What happens when a furry dies? Their persona? What do you?
That's
Yeah.
More questions that we have time
The
to answer
age-old
on this
question:
one
what
episode.
happens when a furry dies?
They
First of all,
get now.
Do you go to the
Immediately
hospital
down, yeah.
or to the vet?
Well,
Taken to
again,
a
I have
fucking
to,
jail.
I have to reiterate, there's too many questions to answer on this one episode, but I want to drop that truth bomb on y'all because I felt like it would be a great segue for a conversation we've been dying to have on the show.
Sure.
Speaking of Marvel comics, is that we've been talking about this conversation for weeks and we haven't been able to get to it, but we wanted to talk about classic villains who did nothing wrong. I know Ashley has a lot to say
The
about
Riddler, for
I know
one.
Chris wait for me to finish the intro.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No,
get
there
that
we
out
go.
there.
the
There it
Riddler,
is.
the Riddler-fied delegation, please, please yield the floor.
Well, for one thing, the
Reclaiming
Riddler.
my time.
It's very
I have
funny
5
because
minutes.
just even like 2 weeks ago, if we had asked this question or introduced this conversation, it would have been the Joker for Matt
Yeah.
especially, but for everyone in the audience. But the Joker has been replaced by the Riddler. Apparently,
It's
I'm
the
Riddler
Riddler now,
maxing
guys.
now, baby.
It's the we're Riddler maxers.
I'm Dan
We're
O'Connor.
riddling.
So Christopher Dorner.
Sure.
There we go.
So true.
I think Marvel
Classic
introduced him
villain.
as an anti-hero, technically.
Yeah, true. Sorry. More of a Punisher.
I think the
situation.
Unabomber.
Oh yeah.
The Unabomber was
for
right.
sure.
Yeah.
Bomber was correct. I mean, he shouldn't have bombed. He did a little bit too much bombing. I'll give him that.
As the,
But
A little more bombing than
You've
necessary.
absolutely got to hand it to Ted Kaczynski.
you do, as I am known for doing now, I think, basically.
Did you? So I don't know. The interesting thing about Ted Kaczynski was that, like, in college, one of my professors had us read like a huge excerpt, like 100 pages of his manifesto.
Yeah,
and it was amazing and really good.
Yeah, that's the best part.
This is good.
Yeah,
that's the best part of the Unabomber is that if you actually read whatever it's called, Industrial Society and its consequences or whatever, like it's a solid read. He's making some points,
right? It's
like all right, well, you're not wrong. Maybe don't bomb.
Yeah,
but
in practice, I think dial it down by a couple like levels of violence.
To take this exact sentiment and extend it to its furthest logical conclusion, Osama bin Laden made good points initially. Jesus. I'm not condoning the methods at all, but when you read some of the initial documentation, you're like,
some bangers.
Justine will save the condoning for a shirt that will be up on Kielbasa later on this week. That's where she'll condone the methods.
Yeah. Well, I just don't want it to lead back to anyone but me. I won't condone anything in front of you guys.
Thank you for doing that. Yeah.
I do have a Ted Kaczynski shirt too, I think.
Well, it's a great point to bring up. I want to say Willow had a fantastic tweet about having alerts on for when Elon Musk gets his own Funko Pop and taking a cyanide pill whenever the
just being like that's the drawing line. Like, I just gotta wait.
Yeah.
We're almost at the end.
That tweet went crazy. I've seen it at so many places now in the wild. And did you superimpose Ted Kaczynski on that, or did somebody else?
No, I think that was done. That might have been done to try to like, I don't know, insult me. I think.
No, I don't think
the first time I saw
that was just an aftermarket addition to the post.
I don't know. Either way, I love it.
Yeah, I thought it made sense. I thought it echoed the sentiment that you felt. Like, I felt like you're talking about his manifesto. Everyone's talking about the manifesto.
Yeah. No, I know what Google Alerts Ted Kaczynski has said. We have a GC.
So what was the original inspiration for the classic villains? Because I feel like when this first came up, it was relating back to X-Men and Magneto.
Magneto for me is the ideal villain. He did nothing wrong. He just rather than being a big old pussy pacifist like Professor X, he's out there getting stuff done.
Mm-hmm. He's actually like what would have happened if Henry Kissinger had like done the right thing, I think.
Yes. Also, he's frequently portrayed as like a Malcolm X style, versus your Martin Luther King, and it's just that's the way to do it. Also,
and it's silly to me too, because people like I was saying to Willow that it's just like it seems like a psyop to make Malcolm X look wrong and not as fucking cool as he is, because he's just like he has the guns and the beanies with the Black Panthers.
And I definitely like growing up, like I was just like, he's going about it the wrong way though. And now as I'm reading, it's like, no, that's all right. I'm not seeing a flaw here in his methodology at any point. That's
yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, X-Men was marketed to, I mean, my generation, it was Saturday morning cartoons, but yet they really didn't hold back. Like, if you watch that X-Men cartoon, like Magneto was who he is in the comics. He was like, he held nothing back. He was gangster. And then, for me, I got into X-Men and Batman through the TV shows that came on after school and Saturday mornings. But then I went in deep into all those, and it's like, Magneto is as a villain, like, it never sat well with me because he has so much justification in his backstory that it's just like he's a victim of Nazi, or his family was killed in Nazi Germany.
But that's the thing too, because like Professor X was like a rich boy born to a rich family of neuroscientists. Exactly. Like, fuck that dude, Plus he's got like spying on everybody with his mind tricks like NSA. Like, fuck that dude.
Okay, but
weak ass legs too.
He is disabled, so
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh, sorry. Can you edit that part out?
Professor X
I didn't know
does
that.
suffer from alopecia.
I just thought he was lazy, like the people at Walmart. You know?
He has a special chair devised by like bees
Can you
or
cut that part
something.
out?
Also,
I
I
just
just
don't want to walk.
I want to clarify now that I'm thinking about on my cancelability here. At one point, I mentioned that Professor X was a pussy, and then later I compared him to Martin Luther King. So that's
Yes.
really what I'm getting at, I guess. I just want to clarify that.
Just get ready on
It's all
Monday.
staying in.
Twitter's coming for you when
God damn it.
they're like, Chris
Staying in,
said
Chris,
Martin
sorry.
Luther King was a pussy.
Chris
Like,
literally compared Martin
I'm gonna edit that out. I'm gonna edit
I
that.
was gonna say,
Just that
now you have my soundbite.
Yeah, soundbite.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Any other notable villains who did nothing wrong? That we got the
Okay.
Joker, the Riddler, Magneto.
Christopher Dorner.
Justine, did you have one?
I feel like initially I definitely had a bunch. Like Ursula for sure, right?
Okay.
Like Ursula was simply a businesswoman and like she made the terms pretty clear, right?
Sure.
Like at no point did she lie or engage in false advertising or
This is Little Mermaid, right?
And so hot too.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Okay, what was the whole deal of that? It's been a while.
She wanted to get legs to go on land and marry
Okay.
Prince Eric.
She wanted to
Ursula
fuck
let her-
the Earthman. Yeah.
Right, okay. that I'm
Ursula
down
gave
with.
her that, but she
Makes
had to
sense.
give up her voice. And if she couldn't marry the
Okay,
prince
what
in
is
like 3 days, then she lost it all forever.
I hate to argue with my girlfriend on this, but just a counterpoint. As a businessman or a businesswoman, what does her voice get Ursula? What does she end up using that voice for? There could be an answer to this, but like she
Sir,
investing.
I'm 28 years old. I don't know. I haven't watched The Little Mermaid in a really long time.
Okay, then
I
maybe
think
we
she
should bring
wins.
up references that we can't back up. is what I say.
Have you heard Ariel's voice? It's so beautiful. It's basically what Beyonce based her whole career off.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay, so Ursula was then going like she would then get the voice and then get to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
And
was
then
gonna
in the
take it
end-
for fucking Quincy Jones or whoever the fuck, and you know.
Yeah, in the end, Ursula became human form, so she was just like with dark hair, so she looked exactly like Ariel had her voice and dark hair,
yeah.
so she could fuck the prince that Ariel wanted to fuck.
There's more
And when
to
she was
this.
underwater, she was what, like a squid or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was-
octopus of some kind. Yeah.
Okay.
She was
Yeah,
very
maybe
thick.
I'll-
A big,
But, like, I
big
just-
like queer coded purple. You know,
You know what's fucked
Like-
up about this is I'm realizing that we totally underestimated Eric in all this. He could have probably totally been into Ursula as she was,
Yeah.
and probably never even gave.
Probably would have
yeah,
been.
Never gave him a
fucking
chance.
love a girl with an ugly voice. Come here, baby. Let's
I
get
guess
racy.
my biggest point is
What those
here that
tentacles
everyone treats Ursula as if she pulled some horrible prank or trick. Realistically, there was an actual literal signed contract.
Right.
I mean, but this is like the terms and conditions of Twitter and Facebook and shit here. at
No,
this
Right.
point,
no,
you know?
no,
Like, I
it's
mean,
not because no, it's not.
it
She's
is.
just one
You-
person.
You haven't
No,
seen
no.
the movie. You said that. You don't know.
I said
the
I've seen
contract
the
goes
movie.
like,
I said it's been a long time. But the thing is, do the Twitter and Facebook terms and conditions come with a fucking musical number to help you understand it?
That's true.
No, they don't.
Thank you. Okay.
They easily
All right.
could have. Too,
I agree.
and that's fucked
And
up.
they could have. It's
It
not outside
absolutely
the scope.
should.
Okay, so speaking of queer coded villains, I have very strong opinions about Scar. All right.
Yes, yes.
All right. So a couple years ago, my boss asked us what Disney character we liked a lot growing up, and I was like Scar, and he acted all fucking weird about it. And I didn't realize that it wasn't common knowledge that Scar wasn't really the bad guy. I guess. Okay. So imagine you're born black and gay as hell, and the shadow of your light-skinned brother's chiseled heterosexual jaw. All right. First of all,
Oh, I'm imagining it, and I like it. I like what I see.
I have expected you to be like, "Oh, I don't need to imagine it," but
Yeah, I am Italian, so
yeah, you are right.
And gay, which is important.
And very gay.
I'm a gay man who only fucks chicks.
Gay men who only fucks women, yes.
Yeah.
So there's some lore involved in this. His parents named him Taka, which is Swahili for dirt.
Yeah.
His parents named him Mud, dude. Okay. And then he's in a terrible accident, and Mufasa starts calling him Scar.
Which is much cooler.
I guess, but he's
It's
probably
way cooler.
really insecure about it, dude.
Mufasa gave him a gift. Hey, your name's Dirt. I'm gonna call you Scar, bro.
That's
And
like
he fist
calling
bumps
me
him.
Forehead.
That's a solid.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's fucked up, man.
It's like calling me kidney. I only have one kidney. Sorry, that doesn't work without the lore.
the lore, okay. We learned
The
some
real
new lore.
listeners of the show got the joke.
Yeah,
It's like calling me by my dead name. Sorry.
It's just like that.
It's like calling me appendix. I'll get in on this too.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, and what pancreas? There we go.
Yeah, there you go. They're calling us all. They're calling us pancreas and on.
Or
I
calling
don't
me
know, sorry.
calling me foreskin.
Don't leave.
They are
All right,
calling
that
you
one.
foreskin in the QRTs right now.
So they could just call you Scar. Actually, is what you're trying to say.
He has no visible scar on his face. They just keep calling him that. They don't.
So this
they
is
don't
what that was
elaborate.
really about.
It was a botched.
How did you get those? You know how I got these scars?
Oh no!
Well, there was a doctor.
He really liked triangles.
Oh,
Okay, Ashley is.
Yeah,
I'm
give
sorry.
me
are
more.
we-
I have more.
Uh-huh.
Right. Okay. And then Mufasa banished him to the Shadowland with the other creatures that Mufasa doesn't like looking at.
Sure.
That sounds like redlining to me. That's racism. That's
Wait, what
racist
happened?
federal policy.
GOP hero Mufasa.
Mufasa's FDR of Disney. Fuck that guy, right?
Oh,
So I would kill Mufasa too. Also, it's a hereditary monarchy. Murder and shit like that happens all the time, like patricide. Ask Matt or Justine. They know.
Yep. And Chris.
that's why I support
And Chris.
Mufasa.
Wait, why?
I'm just being contrarian. I just like,
Okay. I
He's a nice
like that guy. Oh, you're doing the I like.
I just like that guy. I don't know what he
Yeah,
Scar's
he's
an
like
asshole.
he's like the Putin of Disney. You know?
Simba
Who knew Disney?
Zelensky, right? I mean, yeah.
Scar says Zelensky.
No, I said Simba
Christ, dude.
Zelensky.
Oh, okay.
You should
Before
have
the
been
show,
murdered.
Should
All right, so that's the case. That's the full case for Scar. Because
No,
No, she's not done.
all right, go
I
ahead.
am not done.
If you can
Also,
convince me.
We're only 37 minutes in. Let her go.
Yeah, let me do it. So Scar comes into the power. Scar didn't cause a drought. That's some climate denial bullshit, right?
Mhm.
Like make Pride Rock great again, dog shit.
Mhm.
This is some
Right.
whataboutism because neither did Mufasa.
Well, I'm not done. All right, this all reads like propaganda written by the white man. Is what I'm trying to say. It was bullshit. Also, another reason Scar is cool is that he tortured Zazu, and Zazu is British.
Yes.
Chris,
That is good.
can you-
Not
That's
only
very
that is
compelling.
he was a British bureaucratic journalist with his head up the ass of the imperialist monarchists.
That's right. He had his head right up there, didn't he? Right up there. Couldn't even get further up there if you try enough.
It's like
Zazu
Jason
has entered the
Statham
chat.
jerking off.
Yeah, it's so. I think it is originally kind of.
It was an
inspired
order.
on my impression of going way back. My impression of Alfred the Butler.
Okay.
And my impression, I feel like the way he should be played is something like. Master Bruce. Master Bruce. Just something like that. Real breathy. Get real breathy with
Absolutely.
it.
Yes, he's still out of breath.
Breathing.
That's much more realistic, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
If a guy Michael Caine's age was
Right.
was really walking around,
Why a moment. Give me a tick here. Mr. Bruce, the Joker, that is for you. You know, just something like that. It adds a little weight to the scene, is what I'm saying.
It's so weird that he has this like weird ancient Cockney accent that doesn't really even exist anymore. I like it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Me
Alfred-
and Justine are watching Peaky Blinders right now. This is my first time, my first exposure to it. And there's literally a new British accent every 30 seconds. All of these people apparently live within like one city block of each other. I don't know how they can stuff all of these accents into a single borough.
It is insane. It's so good. The amount of times we've been watching, we're on season 3 right now, and the amount of times that there's just like a guy and we're like, is that a new fucking accent? It's amazing. And also I'm hearing this a lot. The impression that he just did, that's making up most of my evenings.
Imagine.
The laugh, dude.
Has it gotten into your dreams yet? Just
A little bit.
I mean, I think in this, if that's what you're talking about. This is my inner monologue. I have to translate it to speak.
beautiful.
Chris, can I ask a personal favor of you since you got all these accents going? One time I did a meme of Alfred, and he was eating sour gummy worms. He says, Master Bruce, some men just want to eat a whole bag of trolley sour gummy worms at one time. Do you think you could do some version of that for me? Heard the breath.
Just want to eat an entire bag of trolley sour gummy worms.
Thank you so much. I owe you one big time.
That's right, you do. That's right. On imagine. I'm always imagining.
Yeah. They love to imagine.
I'm really imagining, like, you're really putting me there where, like, he's like an old man eating something, like, it's disgusting, and he's like staining his lips, and he's
hanging out.
still has pieces of it in his teeth, and he's just like, yeah, these are pretty good. I like them.
Oh, it's like the fucking
Master Wayne.
Matt, could you do a Joker impression of just some men? I guess he doesn't have a line that's equivalent to that, but I was trying to get you to do a Joker impression. I don't know. Could you do the Joker eating a whole bag of trolley sour gummy worms?
Yeah, that's the noise. That's the noise that Heath Ledger was going for. It was like, he practiced for weeks. This is
Literally
nobody
nobody
died. A lot of people don't know. He was eating so many gummy worms.
Yeah.
He was getting sick, and they were like, "Please stop eating so many gummy worms." And he's like, "No, I'm doing it for the film."
It's the
tragedy.
oh god, I forgot what they're called. Never mind. It's
I
the
guess I
trolley.
know.
It's the trolley method.
Do you want to know where I got these gummy worms? Well, I got them over there in the corner store. That's it. That's all I got, really.
It's really fucked up that this isn't a video episode for the listener, because there's something really uncomfortable about having to watch it, because it is very Heath Ledger-y. In that movie, I don't ever want to have that guy up in my face, and so yeah, that rules.
He did kill it, like that was a guy that you don't want to be around.
Very uncomfortable the entire time. Yeah,
and he's no Riddler, but he's definitely did a good job.
But
there's just something about watching Matt just move his upper body in such a fluid way. That's really unpleasant.
It's very jarring. I've been off-put the entire episode, very distracted.
Mission accomplished.
This is how we all feel once a week. I mean, this is why we have a Patreon. We need the financial support.
Yeah, Chris. Now you know why I log off every Thursday, and I'm just like crying uncontrollably, punching holes in the wall.
I'll ask Justine to get on here early and be like, "Hey, I got another Joker impression." She's like, "Please no," and I'm like,
"Try it out.
Stay on." And then I start doing it. She cries, but
it's the Louis C.K. Joker, where you call me in alone and you force me to watch your Joker impression.
Oh Jesus!
Probably want to know where I got all these sexual assault allegations.
No.
I love how normally Matt's audio signal is so loud, but that delivery on the Louis C.K. Joker was so like
So just close and
nuanced.
quiet.
It was very smooth.
I think we should get Willow to soundtrack this episode and just add that, rising Hans Zimmer.
Please.
And then Matt nuts on all of us. I apologize.
Another Thursday night at the Succ headquarters.
Wow. Well, speaking of quitting the podcast,
Well, we got some
that was
plugs.
my notice right there. No, but actually, I did want to talk about this because I've seen this post going around. By Monday, it's going to be, so oversaturated. So we got to get on it now. But this post going around about somebody getting an email from their boss where
Oh, Jesus.
a bunch of people quit the workplace all at once. And so they send the email the next day. Here, can I just read some of it to y'all? Would that be okay?
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
I'll use my white guy customer service voice. It'll make us all even more uncomfortable than we already were with Matt's Joker voice. It says, "Hello all. Happy Wednesday. I'm not so happy this morning." What? Why the fuck does it start that way? Happy Wednesday, period. I'm not so happy this morning. Yesterday, 3 of you submitted your 2 weeks notice. All 3 of you claimed it was because of quote unquote better opportunity, not even thinking about the fact that some of your coworkers have lives outside of this job and children in all caps. Your quote unquote better opportunities, in parentheses, doubtful. We pay you all fair wages. Are you really worth affecting your team members' quality of life? I myself have children, and instead of being at their band recital this week, I will have to be sitting at work posting job offers on Indeed instead. This is outrageous.
Sounds like they did us
All-
a favor. Sorry.
So I'm going to skip ahead because most of it, I'm doubtful if this is real or not. I'm going to pretend
I think
it
it's
is.
not real, but
Okay. Well,
Who knows?
yeah. I'm glad we could agree on that. The final part that's so funny, though, is the new rule in our employee handbook will be updated to now requiring a 3 months notice, since that's how long it took to train you.
Bullshit, illegal, unenforceable. Get fucked. Nope.
Yeah, also learn to train people better. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It says you will
Yeah,
give
why does it
3
take you
months
3
notice.
months to train anybody? What the fuck do you do? Are you a pilot?
It says you will
It's
train
horseshit.
your replacement in the meantime, and
Fuck,
your
I
3
will.
months notice will serve as your consent for your base pay to be lowered by $6 an hour.
Nope.
Yeah,
that's why I think it's not real, because it's like anybody who has like the power to make these kind of calls is like they're not going to be, even if they want to do this, they're not going to be able to do this. They're going to know that they can't be like,
It's-
hey, I'm
it's
docking
one of those
everyone
things-
$6.
well, there's very stupid people that own small businesses.
Yeah,
but there's
that's
very
true.
little.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's definitely
I've
to,
spoken to one
own
of them
business.
in the past on the phone for several hours trying to get my other phone back from them.
Yeah, please keep in
Sorry
mind,
for another time.
I own a business. Like it's not hard to get into that position for sure.
Yeah.
I know. But if they have like a bunch of employees that they have like, numerous employees, it feels weird that they would like not know that you can't enforce, like you have to give a 3-month notice to quit. That's just, you can't do that. Like,
Yeah, I
even a layman knows that.
I'm not saying bosses aren't that bad. They are that bad, but it's just like reading that just sounds like point for point is designed to make you angry.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just listen
Yeah.
to it.
Exactly.
And which is like, I mean, it's great bait, I think, if it is. And it's like, God, I hope it's real, not, for the sake of the workers, but because I can't get off on shit like this if I think it's fake. And I really need to get angry at this. So it's like, I hope it's real, but
I'm right
I
there
don't
with
know,
you.
I'm
So
Is
suspicious.
this a psyop?
Make it real for me or don't
employers?
make
Is
it
that
at
what
all.
I'm hearing? Is this a psyop for employers to engender
No.
goodwill toward them?
No, I think that this is I think likely a person that knows what's going to upset people.
It's creative writing.
Right.
Like kind of like a troll.
Shit
George,
posting,
this
if you will.
is like Reddit.
Soros, ladies
is
and
like
gentlemen.
Reddit.
Troll, you've never heard of it, like a troll.
It's like Reddit anti-work bait is what it is.
Exactly,
It's those
exactly.
guys.
And it's
Yeah.
like, and I'm sure some of those are real, but it is that kind of thing where it's like, you know what is going to get the reaction for this theme of thing you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that. Because we are often fooled by sites like Rap TV and
I'm still so fucking mad about Peter too.
Hey, don't worry. I did it with some Final Fantasy fake game account. Don't worry. We've all been there.
What I will say is, okay, so I'm turning 30 here, in July, so maybe this more so than any physical changes. I think I am getting dumber online.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Oh, I
Part of it
definitely
is that, like, I know that Google is changing, and this makes me feel fucking old and stupid to say, but this is going to be like, the modern day version of, like, back in my day. Is you used to be able to Google things. You used to be able to find what you were looking for, and now you're typing this, and you have 3. Well, no, number 1, you've got 4 ads first, so you got to scroll past those 4 ads. Then you've got 3 possibly related links, and then anything past that, you are fucking you are crazy to ever click the next button on a Google search. Get the fuck out of here if you're doing that.
Yeah, if you do, it just says, "What the fuck are you doing?"
A lot of sometimes there'll be like a notice that says at the bottom, like, most of these are going to be duplicates. Like, oh, okay, thanks, thanks for, and so
don't worry about the rest of it.
But yeah, no, in general, I just feel like, I'm becoming more easily tricked online. I will say that, I've caught a few. I think there is kind of a trend right now of when, like a cross-platform thing where anytime something comes from TikTok to Twitter, people immediately forget the way that the internet works, and they immediately are just like, these fucking kids these days, despite the fact that a lot of times it's just pretty obvious, like, just shit posting, I guess, but
Right.
like, as soon as it comes from a different platform, it's like, this is what these kids are doing these days. But there have been a few examples, and I'll never divulge them, of situations where I might have been given, gotten a rise out of me, only to realize that maybe the people weren't being quite legitimate in the post that they made.
I think
Perhaps they were trying to upset me.
the last one that really got a lot of people, and for a second it got me, was that Dylan Adler post about the Universal Studios thing. Where he did the backflip or whatever, and people were like,
yes. Okay, so
people got so fucking mad at him,
and I immediately, like, I don't know, just like looking at his, and that's the thing. I think a lot of people, like, and this is fine. I don't expect you to do research, but people don't, like, look at a person's profile to see who follows them, or B, 2 or 3 of their tweets. Like, just look at 2 or 3 of their tweets in a row and try to kind of understand, what kind of person they are. And, like, the amount of people that were like, oh, I love this reaction, where they were like, that's so fucking rude. How fucking dare he? And then someone is like, it's a joke. And they're like, well, then why isn't it fucking funny? It's like, okay, man, like, you don't have to really love it, but admit that you got fucking tricked. You got duped. You're a fucking moron.
However,
are a bad
I will
audience.
I will not ever admit that. I will never admit to being duped or tricked. Yeah,
I would never do that. No. I would double down and get angry and probably get banned. I would get banned or suspended and arrested.
See, I go the absolute opposite. Once I find that I've been tricked, duped, bamboozled, etc., I delete all evidence of it. I delete my post, I delete my comment. I just totally wipe it clean.
Great.
And someone will be like, hey, what happened to that post you made? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, that's crazy. Wow.
The fucked up thing, though, babe, that's going to get harder and harder, for you as your following grows. For me, it's like no one's screenshotting my shit. I can really, so long as I catch that within a few minutes, I can get that out of there.
That is the best part, I think, of I've complained a lot about having my account on Twitter suspended, and having to start over and having way less followers. But without that old account, I can be so contradictory and lie so much, and no one can hit me with this you. It just can't happen. Mm-hmm. There's no evidence anywhere.
I think is looking for is the God-given right to be a hypocrite. That's what we deserve.
Exactly. I want to be able to say something that directly contradicts the beliefs that I passionately defended 6 months ago.
Violently.
Yeah.
And neither of you are in your 30s yet, so you're allowed to do that.
That's
It's
right.
all good.
Yeah.
It'll be very different in a couple of years. So I'm going to keep screenshotting y'all.
There's always going
I
to be
don't know. It was a
evidence.
joke, right? Why wasn't it
Why was
fucking
it
funny,
fucking
Phil?
Yeah. I like to be set up a little bit, but that one was too far, and Matt, you have to delete it now, or I'll cry.
Oh, I'm leaving it. Everything stays in.
Yeah, we
Unless
don't
I did it.
really edit anything anymore, unless there's like a
No.
lot of
No.
farts or something, on the podcast.
Yeah.
Which I mute my mic for those. I hope y'all appreciate that.
Yeah.
Can y'all
As long
see
as
if
I
I
can
mute my
still
mic?
smell them, I'm good.
No, I can't see if you mute it, Phil.
Like if I mute it,
I can see.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
would
can see.
fucking be terrified if Justine could see when I muted, because I have muted every single fart I have ever done, ever. Will continue to
Wow.
do so.
wow, male feminism right here. I would
That's
love
exactly
to see it.
right.
Thank you
It's
so much,
offensive to let her even know that happens.
Men should be holding in their farts and shits more.
Yeah,
Their
their guts should be fucking bursting with farts
I will never
and
do
shit
that.
24/7.
I mean, the problem is they already are because of their terrible diets and
love the
exercise
fart.
habits. So
Yeah, amen.
they couldn't hold them in if they're digging tunnels. They're shitting their
Yeah.
pants. It's
That's where.
I think
Where does he
Chris
go in the
has
tunnel?
a perfectly normal
The
diet that consists of hand pizzas and 10 to 12 hard-boiled egg whites. So I think that's really normal, actually, and healthy.
Well, I'll tell you what, the egg whites really up the sulfur content of pretty much anything in your digestive system. So that's always good. But Matt, I want
You
to
should
get to
hold
something
those
you
in.
mentioned. Where does he shit? I imagine he would probably make a small. You could make a small
Side
cove
tunnel.
every,
Latrine. Yeah.
10
Side
feet or
tunnel,
however
yeah.
long. Yeah.
And if you come across any like lead sarcophaguses, you can fill.
No.
You can do
I can
a-
just shit
at
into it.
least
Nothing
like
comes
10,
Open
10
a
good
little
shits
fence
in there.
like 5
Whenever
months
I've-
from now, though. That's what I'd like to see. Is if I ever get my hands on a sarcophagus, I'm cracking that shit open immediately, because I know that if
Yeah.
it gets in their hands, they're making a big show out of it, and they're
Yeah,
taking
crack it
5
open.
months.
Just you
Crack
and
it up
me
and down.
going in there, two buds, cracking
Yeah,
open
yeah.
sarcophagus.
Chowing down on whatever we find in there.
We just taking pictures with our phones. Here's some shit. I don't know. It looks like hair or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God! There's a
Probably a
shit
girl.
in here. How did that happen? God damn! God.
So shit in here, man.
King Tut. What the fuck, guy? Well, before we wrap, because there's no segues to any other stories I can see on this, I think we should circle back to the terrible fake Reddit post, and I just would love to hear any of y'all's quitting your job stories that are worth telling. If no one has one, I have plenty, but I'll open the floor to y'all if you want to give us one.
I just don't show up.
I have one. I have just one that I want to say. Okay, so I've never gotten fired before, but I did. I quit
Congratulations.
in a. Yeah. Right. I'm a good little worker, but so I hated.
Capitalism cuck.
I worked in a particular big box arts and crafts store that when I was a teenager, and I hated my fucking boss. Everybody hated him. He was terrible. He was one of those like ex-military guys that was up his own ass that ran. He was just kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he ran a
He
McDonald's
had a
like
bunch
it
of-
was the Navy.
Exactly, and he had just a bunch of teenagers and like old people that were working there part time. Anyway, he was a complete asshole. He would constantly hit on the girls. Just a grade A piece of shit. So I was mopping before I was leaving for the night, and he's like, "Matt, I want you to mop my office." And his office was like this little rinky-dink thing. Like you don't really need an office if you're managing a arts and crafts store.
Sure.
But he had one. He had like
Can you
cleaned
just say
out
Hobby Lobby?
something like that. Not quite, but
Joanne's.
Sorry, I wanted it to be Hobby.
So I, being 17, I emptied out all the water. I peed in the bucket and then mopped his office with my piss.
This can't be.
And,
This is a made-up Reddit story. He
I
made this up.
swear
for
to
Reddit.
God. I swear to God. I have a close
Seriously?
friend that worked there with me, and I said, "Hey, dude, this is what I'm gonna do." And he was like, "Dude, you got to do it." We ended up pissing on his car. Also, a lot of piss going on. I don't know why. We really hated this guy, and
Sure.
and he was he was a real piece of shit. But so and then I quit like kind of shortly after that because not because of this, but
You didn't
Because
quit
it
that
smelled
night?
like
You
piss
just-
everywhere,
No,
probably.
I didn't
right?
care. He didn't say anything about it. I didn't give a shit, dude. If I got fired, I didn't care. I was 17. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Can anybody top that? I don't know if there's any. I mean,
Well, no one found out. It was like just a thing that I know I did, so it's not that cool, I guess.
Yeah.
no, I don't
I
mean,
mean,
like,
every time I've pissed all over everything, I've been fired. Rightfully so.
Like, yeah,
nice.
I've got stories about pissing all over things, but not
Yeah.
stories about being fired for doing that.
No. The only piss story I got is that one time I got the cops called on me back in college, and I had an apartment right out of left the dorm, got an apartment, act like an asshole. Everybody called the cops on me because I was being loud as hell, and I got super pissed at this one dude. There's the only person in the apartment complex that was not a college age kid, so I figured that's the dude that called the cops. Fuck him. So I like pissed in the cup, and then I like poured it all over the fucking front of his car and shit. I thought maybe once the engine started up, it'd like burn all the piss up and he'd breathe it in or something. I don't know. It was stupid.
I
don't even know if he called the cops on me, so I feel like feel like an asshole. But that guy sucked anyway.
He's
regardless,
a listener. Appreciate
He's like
what
a diehard.
you've become.
Sorry, guy. I don't even know literally anything about that guy at all.
Most of my jobs, I feel like I've just quit by just not showing up. I'll just no call, no show for a week, and then they'll be like, "Okay, you're fired now. Here's your last check in the mail," and I'll be like, "Cool, good doing business with you, sir."
I always
Like-
really respect the people that do that, honestly. I'm like,
It
wow,
feels
they're living the
amazing.
fucking dream.
It feels so good to just decide one day that like we've had our final contact. The only time that's ever really been changed is like, and it's not even like a cool, fun story. It wasn't a fuck you. I was just like, I had a problem. I got fired from like a really, really cushy job at Toyota Financial. I was making like more than I had ever made before in my life. And I don't even know how I landed this job. And then like within the first week, I was like buying enough opiates that like I got fired for just like nodding off and drooling on the keyboard.
Oh.
But it rocked. Like I will say that it was very cool. My entire job was like copy numbers from this printed out spreadsheet and enter them into this spreadsheet that's on the computer.
Sure.
Oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that. Yeah.
I did
love
the
data
shit out of
entry.
that job the
Yeah.
entire time that I was conscious
Good shit.
there. I did so well at it.
Oh, this wouldn't make any sense, but I would love to have the opposite job. I would love to just be writing down
Random numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Google
people to put
Sheets
it
on
just
Literally
spreadsheet.
just 8 hours of being dictated a string of numbers. And then I get to sign my name a bunch. I like to sign my name. So
Yeah.
I've been doing that for
I
Find out you're just preparing Alex Jones's show notes.
I,
I felt really like professional and like important at this job because they gave me a little code thing to use the copier, and it's the only job to this day where I ever got to use a copier.
Nice.
Just
Yeah,
never had employment that necessitated copier use before or since.
I don't have like a great quit story, but I do have one of my jobs. I was a server in old Chicago in Madison, and they went out of business. And so when it goes out of business, and like they were kind of like liquidating the property and like like taking shit literally like like the booths and everything out. Oh God, I got so many free like glasses,
Oh, that's nice,
like
yeah.
ashtrays, like shit like that. So really cool for me. Like the best way to lose my job that I could have, I think.
That's nice.
Nice.
And I got laid off by my best friend. So it's like like different funny little stories here and there. But no,
give
no
and take life.
Well, before we wrap, then I'll give y'all my all my jobs I've ever had. I quit, and most of them never gave notice. It's like a thing for me. I gotta like fuck you to the guy that's above me. Like for my very first job, when I used to push carts at Kroger, I remember one day being out in Memphis heat pushing carts, and I got tired of that shit. And I just went inside and I made a point to go up to the customer service counter where my shitty boss was, and I went. To me, it felt so fucking badass, and it's so stupid now. But like at 16-year-old, you take off your stupid little smock or something, you throw it on the counter, and you're like, "Fuck you, I quit." You know? And that was my employment. That was the beginning of my employment history. Was quitting on that guy, throwing my smock onto the fucking counter.
I love it.
But I went on to work for giant, consumer grocery stores. I worked at Walmart twice, actually. I actually quit Walmart once. And if you quit Walmart and do a no-show, no-call, you're supposed to be on like a blacklist. They're not supposed to hire you back, right? The first time I quit, it was very straightforward. I had a good manager. She left to go to another store. I got a really super shitty manager. Like, I worked in Tennessee, a place called Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So you can imagine the kind of people that run the Vision Center at Walmart in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And I actually got egged on by some older women. So like the thing you got to know about the optical industry is that at that time in my life, when I worked in the optical industry, it was only women, career, women working in optical, or gay dudes. And when I started there, they had a bet on if I was a gay dude or not, which I'm not. And so a lot of people lost the bet because that was very abnormal. All the women that worked there,
like gay men usually are.
Very weird creatures. Those ones.
Very abnormal.
They were all very good friends of mine. I love them deeply to this day. But yeah, I remember, I think it was like the third day there, they were like, so we all had a bet about if you were gay or not. And that's understandable. If y'all know me, you've done 36 episodes of this podcast now, so understandable. But, they lost the bet. We became friends. And then our good manager left, and this nice, very thick, that's the nice term for it, Southern lady came to run the Walmart Vision Center, and she didn't know anything about eyeglasses or anything. And so basically just ran this into the ground, made everybody that worked there feel like shit. And the fun part about working in the Walmart Vision Center in Murfreesboro, Tennessee back then was that the women that worked there were like very horny middle-aged women. And so like I was a very rare specimen in Walmart Vision Center. And so, they were basically just like encouraging me, that they saw me as like a pawn, a power play to get me to quit. And they encouraged me. They were like, you should go home. Your girlfriend's in town. This is when Lee and I just started dating. She would like come from Memphis. I would go to Memphis to see her. She was you should quit. You should just go home and just like be with Lee. And I fucking did it. I did the same thing. I didn't have a smock. I had a white optical coat. I threw that shit down. I quit, bitch. And I left. And shortly after that, Lee and I got in a huge fight. And I remember I threw my phone at the wall. I didn't throw my wall. I threw my phone at the wall and broke it. It was a great phone. Broke that bitch. I regret that to this day. I do all this crazy shit to get a new phone. And when I get the phone, the manager had called me like 1,000 times. Like, Phil, please come back. Please come work here again. I was like, no, fuck that shit. But I went across town to the other Walmart Vision Center in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, because there was two of them, right?
Of course.
You
Two Walmarts in every town.
The manager scooped me right up, right? And I went and I worked there for several years. A lot of the same middle-aged women ended up coming over there and working as well.
Sure.
Had a lot of weird experiences doing happy hour at Applebee's after. Walmart. But like, so in the same way, like how I'd been tempted away from this job before because Lee was in town. One weekend, my homie Zach came to town to make beats and shit with me, and I had to work and shit. And I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, Zach's here. I should be making beats all weekend. I shouldn't be sitting in a Walmart Vision Center. So I like,
Amen. Hell yeah.
So I like get on my little shitty Walmart console, right? That has like a keyboard that's like under a desk and you look through the glass and I'm like type up this shitty like MS-DOS looking email. And I'm like, the funniest part to me is I remember saying some shit like, I think I thought I was being poetic or something because she hired me back from quitting on the other manager. Sure. And I say, the email says, I guess a tiger can't change its stripes.
Oh my God, Phil!
And I emptied the drawer out, and I closed the Vision Center early, and I dropped the bag off. And it was like 2 or 3 hours early. Like, people probably could have come up there to get glasses or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I went home, and I made beats with Zach for like another day. And then Zach went home, and I didn't have a job. It's like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah, but you had your tunnel. which was making beats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I will say, like, 99% of the times that I've just decided, like, oh, I'm not going to this job anymore, it's because, like, there is a situation like that where it's like, well, there's a thing I want to do. This one singular day's worth of, like, where I probably could have just called in or something and been like, hey, I've got to, like, I have, like, a family emergency or I'm sick, has just led to me deciding, no, I will never contact this place of business ever again. You will never see me again.
I will never go within 10 miles of it.
Yeah, because my buddy was like, hey, do you want to go out later?
And that is a new pass we've just created for all the Succ listeners. This is your quit your job pass, because you know deep in your heart if that job sucks enough to just quit for one night of good fun.
But make sure you have enough put aside for your Patreon.
But
or you know,
the Succ podcast will pay for 1 year of unemployment. That is our guarantee here.
He
Thank
does
you.
not speak for us. He's only a guest. As we always say, a guest promise is worth shit in the hand.
They told me yesterday that this is actually true. It is happening. This is signed in paper, so expect it. Expect it, and please make your plans based on this information being true. Thank you.
Me and Chris are gonna have like the phone call equivalent after this of like that long car ride home after an event with your significant other, where you're just staring at each other like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
But I'm dumb as hell, so it totally flies over my head. I'm just smiling like a dumb idiot the whole time.
Basically,
flipping through the radio channels, looking for Journey.
For our Patreon is what's about to happen.
I think the one of the biggest power plays in a relationship is being too stupid for people to be passive aggressive against you. So long as you just fucking smile like a stupid idiot, you're good to go. They're gonna have to actually say something.
That's the hack. There you go.
All right, everybody. That has been the 36th episode of the Succ. Take 2, actually. Y'all missed the first version of it. Maybe we'll release that one day with like a Darth Vader voice in the place of this special guest, who I won't reveal because they'll be coming back.
They're going to be back.
James Earl Jones.
Got our group on Facebook, the Succ Shame Posting, where you can post all of your shameful things. And please subscribe on Patreon. The Patreon is patreon.com/the Succ. Until next week, we love you all, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.